So part of the 7-day Adventist church down here, there's a little fantail in the bush there. He's so cute. The lovely birds have been following me around today, just doing the lawns, and he's just in that little bush there, as you can see him. Just looking for little insects and grubs. Yeah, so just back to on track. So part of our church is we have an area where we call New Start Gardens, and basically this has been running for well over 20 or 30 years, I think, and it's all serviced by volunteers, me being one of those people. I've actually just finished mowing these lawns, which is quite a bit. So back here we have all the sort of ornament, garden sheds for all the spades and tools and stuff like that, and there's a bit of a teaching room in there for horticultural people. So yeah, if I just give you a bit of a walk round, it's quite a big ground, but there's a fair bit of lawn around here, so it just needs to be maintained. Over here we had an area which was all fully utilised during the summer months. I've ploughed it over the other day, so it's all ready for the next session of potatoes or whatever we're going to plant in here. I believe we're going to put potatoes, but it might need another hoeing. Down here we've got a lovely little chilli plant, awesome chilies. And then just coming down here, we have like the main area, so it's gated. We have a bit of a problem with poo geckos and maybe a rabbit or so coming in here and helping themselves. Just an ongoing thing of really having to maintain. So as I say, the purpose of this garden really is to grow food, teach people how to grow food, and so there's a variety of different vegetables in here. There's a lot of silver beet there, there's kale over here, there's spinach, some flowers. There's some potatoes in there I can see. There's different types. There's some still lettuce that's growing quite nice, so we'll trim that. And what normally happens is people tend to the gardens during the week. We have a couple of volunteers, who have been doing it for a long time and are very loyal to the gardens, very loyal to God's people. And they do it all on a volunteer basis. A lot of those people are actually in their 60s and 70s, many in their 70s. It's very hard today to get younger people involved in this. They seem to be very preoccupied. Which is a shame, but we're trying to reform people, or not reform, but teach people how to grow your own, rather than going down to the likes of Pack and Save and just filling up a trolley and not knowing anything about where your vegetables come from. A lot of rhubarb down here. We've got a number of greenhouses and shade houses. This one here, unfortunately over the years, because of the lack of volunteers, a lot of the stuff has fallen into disrepair. But I believe that this garden is getting another life, and it's started now. People are coming into the church, a lot of new people are coming in. Good to see some young families, but a lot of young families are very preoccupied with trying to pay all the bills. Pay all those big mortgages that they've taken out on properties that they probably didn't really need. But hey, back to this. So here's another area that a couple of months ago was just covered in bush, and now has been all cleared by corrections. We have corrections people down here serving their community service, but it seems to have slipped away quite a bit. So I cultivated this the other week and turned it all over, so again we're deciding what to grow in that area. And again, just around here there's more. I'm not sure what they are. My gardening skills aren't that honed at this point in time, so we'll carry on going around here. Compost and stuff like that. A few lemons. Lemons are always great in New Zealand. So down here is that little fantail, keeps following me around. Hello, you like company, fantails? Who could ever hurt a creature like that? Eh? Right, so around here there's another one. Hey, little fantail. And there's lovely little quiet areas down here. You could come and, just chill out, rest. Very peaceful. You can't hear any real noises. We're in the sort of on the border of town and country. So a lot of areas that could be, if people took the time. There's a lot of rubbish here. Old trailer from, looks like the 50s. A lot of, building materials, tyres. And so more tyres. And down here there's a few trees. They've, sort of would like to grow a few apples and stuff like that to give to people. And then down here we've contracted out some of the areas. This is to Tiora, who are a community-based organisation, and they help people who are in sort of like mental health and trying to get back into the workforce. So gardening is a very therapeutic way of doing that. Excuse me, I'm just burping. So down here we've got more shade houses, and here we've got a covered plastic house which has got a lot of seedlings in and more tropical type species in there. So, and down here you've got, I think by the looks of it, looks like beetroots. You've also got over this side of the garden, I think this has actually been contracted out. So interesting what happens when people have an interest in making money out of it. All of a sudden there's a lot more attention. So over here obviously looks like cabbage, Brussels sprouts and stuff like that. Looks like spring onions. So yeah, good crop, but we certainly could do with some more volunteers. So yeah, it would be great if local people here in New Plymouth who wanted to help others would come down, even if they're not Christians. Coming down to help your fellow man is not a bad idea. There's a lot of poor people in New Plymouth, albeit it's a very wealthy region from the farming, oil and gas. There's also, I would call a sort of an underbelly or an underclass that have slipped through the cracks, either through lack of education or family situations, drug abuse, a lot of single parents, a lot of single mums. On saying that, we do have a very good welfare system here in New Zealand that actually gives you enough money to certainly survive. It doesn't really accommodate for luxuries, which a lot of people think they're entitled to, even though they're not actually working. But technically, so that's basically the New Start Gardens. And so once all the produce is picked here, it's usually picked every Friday morning, it's put into buckets and it's taken up to the sorting shed, and that's where it's actually put into buckets, washed and cleaned, and then it gets ready to go out in the afternoon on what we call our food run. And that is, we gather also other products that are donated to us, that being breads. We get a lot of bread, buns and all that sort of stuff which has been donated at the end of a baker's day. They haven't sold a lot of stuff, so they give that to us. And there's a bakery in town who, every week, I think they're from Cambodia, graciously give us a freezer full of bread. So God bless them and the actions that they do. They don't really seek any reward for that, but that's great to see. So it looks like we've got a visitor, so I'll have a look. I'm not sure who this is. Okay, I'll catch you later, and that's it. Talk to you